The March issue of Down East Magazine is now out. It's called How We Live Here. The cover stories take a look at a wide variety of various aspects of life in Maine.
Brian Kevin is the managing editor. He joins us with a sneak peek into this issue. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
All right, we're going to start with Maine moments because some beautiful shots. One of them, a lynx in Aroostook County, shot by Paul Sear.
Paul Sear is one of our contributing photographers, and this is a new couple of pages in the magazine, part of a redesign that we debuted this month where we can just take a really phenomenal, breathtaking shot that screams Maine, blow it up on a big page. He got a phone call, he says in the story here, from a friend who said, there's a lynx lurking around my chicken coop. He was able to go back, I guess, for a couple of days and find this thing and shoot it, and it's really beautiful.
Okay, one of the things we have in common, Brian, is that I also did not ever go to summer camp when I was a kid, and I've seen reviews for adult summer camp. I've always wanted to try it out. You actually tried it out.
Yeah. I'm a Midwestern boy by upbringing, and summer camp, sleepover camp, sleepaway camp is not such a thing there as it is here. So I had the opportunity a couple of summers back to go to the Maine running of an outfit called Camp No Counselors, which is like the nation's largest adult summer camp concern. And it's exactly what it sounds like. They send folks in their 20s and 30s, I found primarily 20s, out, 40s, 50s, I think anybody's welcome, to sort of relive the joy that people loved or experienced for the first time when they were kids as adults.
It was an interesting experience for you because improbably you were about the oldest camper there.
I was.
As you said, most of the others were in their 20s.
I was in my late 30s and I felt like the old man of the mountain.
And when very early on they all threw themselves right into games of, say, beer pong, you had to refrain for one particular reason.
The summer that I was there, the weekend that it fell on was when my wife was due with our second son. And so even though I was only an hour and a half away from my place, I had to sort of be a very responsible adult knowing that I might have to turn around and head home for a labor at any moment.
I was surprised in reading the article about what a party atmosphere this is. You nicely describe it as the woodsy equivalent of Sandals, Jamaica.
This is what my bunkmates told me. They said, you know, look, we just wanted to go someplace where we could blow off some steam, relive our youth, and do it in a way where we just write one check. We don't have to plan a vacation. I think that's what drew a lot of people there. I think combining like a frat party and archery is maybe what drew a lot of people there. I had a good time. Maybe a little, I don't know if it was dangerous. They do a very nice job of controlling everything, but it was a little debaucherous, and it made for a fun and I think funny experience. In
the end, you did get to go on a slip and slide for the first time in 25 years or something.
At least. Yes. Yeah, the climactic sort of camp rally, the Apache games, I think, they end with a slip and slide down a large hill, after which you have to throw a quarter into a beer cup and then chug it. So a lot like summer camp for
Amanda
teens,
wants to go to adult camp.
I mean, that's just what I assume summer camp was like as a kid, too. Yeah.
And I think, you know, for a lot of people, this is such a Maine thing. Like, I remember being a kid and coming from wherever I was from, and I went to the woods of central Maine, and I did all these romantic things, and now I want to go back as an adult and I guess add beer.
All right, let's cover some other things. How to date and not lose hope, because this is a weird thing when you're a single person in Maine, because it is very rural.
Yeah, and so the overarching theme of this package is sort of looking at some of the ways that living in Maine can be difficult, and then sort of the ways that people who do live here have taken those challenges and spun them around and you know, found something amazing and kind of persevered. So Jessie Elston is one of our contributing editors who grew up on the Mid-Coast. She wrote about coming back to Camden as a single person in her 30s after living in New York and experiencing that dating scene, and suddenly firing up Tinder, or one of these dating apps that folks use, and finding that there were, you know, 3 people on it, and one of them was a friend of her dad's, and then it was just crickets thereafter.
Yeah, the struggle is real.
Yeah, I mean, it seems that way. But the nice thing about this package, we got some of our favorite writers to chime in on this, is how I think relatable it is for folks who live here. I think it answers a lot of questions for folks who don't live here, but they've kind of imagined living in Maine and what must it be like, and it must be so romantic, and it's a way of saying, like, look, it can be trying, but here's how, you know, you turn it into the Maine of your dreams.
Nice range of articles, everything from Hannah Holmes on how to make sense of a Maine home to Spose writing about how to earn a living when it's not easy to do in the state of Maine. So, as we said, a little something for everyone. Yep. Brian, we're going to leave it there. A pleasure, as always. Thanks for coming in. Good to have you. Glad you made it home safely from the slip and slide. We'll be back right after this.